here's the big question. You're interested in value investing and valuing and evaluating businesses on a deep level, but you don't know how, even after researching for hours, probably dozens of hours, hundreds of hours on the internet, and because nobody else shows you how to do it. This podcast has all those answers and much more about value investing and finance. My name is Jason Rivera. Welcome to Value Investing in Your Car. In this episode of Value Investing in Your Car, I'm going to talk about Apple. Minutes ago, as of this recording, today is, what is today? 2nd of August at 12:52 Eastern, so about 20-30 minutes ago, Apple became the first ever trillion dollar company. Mind-boggling to me. I'm sure when the first billion-dollar company came along, people thought the same thing, but it's just mind-boggling to me that Apple, the individual company by itself, is bigger than 95% of global economies, country economies around the world. It's mind-boggling to me that the company is worth $1 trillion, frankly. $1 trillion is what, 1,000 billion dollars? So that makes it, what, 10,000 million dollars? It's just incredible to think about that a company that was facing bankruptcy, I don't remember the exact year, but it was in the 80s or early 90s, facing bankruptcy in the 80s or early 90s, had fired its founder, then brought him back after several years because they screwed up so badly that they were facing bankruptcy. They brought their founder back, and it's now $1 trillion company that started, or the company started their resurgence with an iPod and iTunes and the music library. Of course, they went on to phones, tablets, they revamped their computers. It's just crazy to think about that. Apple, and I'm not a huge Apple fan, I'll admit that right off the bat. I'm more of an Android fan. I like the open source nature of Android. I don't like the restrictions of Apple. Frankly, I don't really like Apple's iOS or format very much either on PC or either on computers or the phones. But they do a hell of a job with their branding. They build fantastically designed products. They turn their customers into cult-like figures. Just one example. You all know the commercials. You see the lines where people are outdoors and it's stupid and it makes no sense. If you're an Android user, it makes no sense. You can literally get the same exact phone or a better phone for a fraction of the price, typically, and you don't have to wait in line. But what they do well is they market, they brand, they build loyal customers that it's almost like cult-like, and they build fantastically designed products. It's crazy that with those four things, a company has become the first $1 trillion company. None of that has to do with their superior products, because frankly, I don't think their products are superior. None of them. Maybe when they first came out, the iPod was revolutionary. The iPhone, first smartphone or first legitimate smartphone, was revolutionary. iPad, again, not the first tablet, but the first tablet with software and apps and developer support, was revolutionary at the time. It's just phenomenal that with literally those four factors and being revolutionary in three industries can turn a company into $1 trillion company. And again, they were near bankruptcy in the late 80s, mid to late 80s, early 90s. Near bankruptcy. I think their stock was somewhere around cents. I don't even think it was $1, if I remember the story correctly. It was cents. It's just insane, and it shows you the power of marketing, shows you the power of brands and building customer loyalty. providing great customer service, so your customers become ultra loyal, and that's a big what might become the next trillion-dollar company, Amazon. Their customer service is the best customer service I've ever dealt with. So that's one of the reasons they build their advantages is through customer service, extreme customer service. Something broke, yeah, it came broken to my house. The box is all jacked up. Okay, send it back. Or in most cases, you don't even have to send it back. They just refund your money. It's pretty phenomenal stuff. Um, and the cult-like following that these kind of companies build with their customer loyalty and the customer satisfaction is just frankly amazing. I'll give you a personal example. I mean, we all know the story, the lines out the doors and all those kind of things, the commercials, all that kind of stuff. My wife, years ago, or she's been an Apple fan pretty much since the first iPhone came out. A couple years ago, I convinced her for the first time to try, I think it was a Galaxy, Samsung Galaxy, which is what the phone I had at the time. And she tried it for like 2 weeks. She's like, I can't do it. I don't like it. I was like, why? She's like, I don't know. I just don't like it. I like the Apples. She legitimately gave no reasons, no kind of logic-based reasons that she liked Apple more. She just wanted to get back to the Apple products as soon as she possibly could. Again, customer loyalty, branding, the marketing. Our products, for example, their computer that just came out. If you want the full high-end computer, I think it was a MacBook Pro or the new MacBook Pro or something. It's like almost $8,000 for the high-end computer, or for their kind of premium model. I think is how they market it or whatever, with all the updated graphics, all the bells and whistles that come with brand new computers. You can legitimately get the same computer for between $750 and $1,000, or the same PC for $750 to $1,000. But they, because of their brand name, awareness, customer satisfaction, marketing, all these kind of things, can charge literally 8 times more than that. It's an incredible business model. Incredible long-term sustained competitive advantage they've built over the years. And that's kind of odd coming from a tech company, because normally tech companies just kind of churn. And Apple, over the past 10 to 15 years, has built, again, from pretty much nothing, going bankrupt to, or almost going bankrupt, to becoming the world's first trillion-dollar company. It's an incredible story, incredible business. Even though I'm not an Apple fan, it's an incredible business. Obviously, the first trillion-dollar company, incredibly profitable because they can charge higher for their products and services. So they have much higher margins than most traditional kind of hardware and software manufacturers do, or typically hardware, because they're mostly in the hardware. They can charge much higher margins. Again, the difference between a $1,000 PC and the full $8,000 MacBook Pro is pretty much aesthetics and marketing and brand. That's it. Nothing physical. That's pretty much it. And they can charge $7,000 more. How would you like to be able to charge your clients $7,000 more because they perceive you to be, or they're so loyal to you that they literally go out and tell other people how great you are, that you can charge them $7,000 more than a competitor would? Do you think that would be a phenomenal business that you would want to scale and work to grow? Would you like to own it? Warren Buffett. I think I just saw it this morning or yesterday night. The kind of tech afraid 80-year-old plus man who's been afraid of tech his entire career. I think he now owns, through Berkshire Hathaway, I think he said 5% of Apple. And he said if he could, he would want to own the entire company, because that's how great of a business it is right now. If the best investor ever says he wants to own your entire business, that's a pretty good endorsement of not only the business itself, but the business model and the pricing power. Pricing power is one of his biggest things, or his favorite things. That's why he bought See's Candy, because they had pricing power. That's why he bought Lubrizol years ago with the David Sokol stuff. That's one of the reasons he bought Lubrizol, was because they had pricing power. That's why he loves insurance companies, not necessarily for the pricing power, but you can continually raise prices if need be, and you can prove it to the regulators due to government regulations, cost of living, inflation, whatever. You continually raise prices, and people still need your products. Apple clients need their products. That's why they go with Apple. Uh, and it's phenomenal business, and I just wanted to talk about them today in this episode of Value Investing in Your Car. And if you want to see our other episodes, make sure to check them out. We talk about book reviews. We talk about when does value investing work best. We talk about where does value investing work best. Three most useful investing metrics, three most useless investing metrics, all these kind of things. If you have a thought on Apple, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And I actually just thought of something that I forgot to mention is years ago, I was having a conversation with another value investor that I should buy Apple. He's a huge Apple fan. And I'm not necessarily an Apple fan, but I deemed it to be overvalued at the time. And I said, due to Steve Jobs' death, I think he was still sick at the time, but he was pretty much on his deathbed at that time. I said, I don't think they're going to continue to innovate the way they have. And I think other people are going to catch up to them. I was right that they weren't going to continue to innovate. Ever since Steve Jobs' death, I don't think they've come out with a new product line other than the Apple Watch, which wasn't a huge success that I can think of. But what I was wrong about was the business model, the customer loyalty, and all that. And again, that propelled them to being the first $1 trillion company. I was wrong about that. And this is why value investing is fun and frustrating, because I was right about the overall thesis that I had, but I was wrong about part of it. I was right in general, but I was wrong about a specific part of it, the customer loyalty, the brand, all that kind of stuff. And it's cost me obviously a lot of money. I don't remember the exact year, but I think if I remember correctly, it was selling around, it had a market cap of 250 or 350 billion dollars at that time. Obviously, since then, it's quadrupled, quadrupled or gone up by almost 3 times since then. So obviously, I've left a lot of money on the table there, being right. So that's why value investing is fun, though, because even when you're right, and I actually wrote an article about this, even how to be right even when you're wrong. This is the opposite, how to be wrong even if you're right, I guess would be the title of this. It's just phenomenal business, and I wanted to kind of talk about that today. So I'd love to hear your comments on Apple below. If you like this video, make sure to check out our other playlists, or other videos in this playlist that I already mentioned. Check out our other playlists. We got case study playlists. We got value investing education playlist. We got free training Fridays. We have all sorts of playlists where we talk about anything value investing, finance related, learning related, how to learn better, mental models, all these kind of things. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified every time we release a new video, and we are making and releasing new videos on almost every day. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, I'd love to hear your comments on this below, especially my gigantic mistake on this company below. And I will talk to you in the next video. Thanks.